Hey guys, this is my run on this week's Crystal Mission quest, and I'm quite excited because this is the final run where I unlock every color U2 crystal passive. The only color I'm missing is yellow, and I'm just 700 points short, so this run will be able to do it. I must confess I had to re-roll the stage. The stage that we had this week was General Leo's Shinryu stage, and at level 3 the boss has 525 million HP, which is just way too much for a yellow crystal team, at least at this point of the game. I did spend a little bit of time trying, and I did come pretty close, but I don't think there's enough damage, particularly because you do need to waste a turn in force time to dispel the HP gates by delaying the bosses. It's just too technical and too challenging, so went to reset and I got Paine stage, which is way easier. The way I get around this stage mechanics is by using 3 call abilities, and you do need all 3 of them. So the first I used with Quistis at the start, and that was Paine call, which will remove all buffs from the bosses and all debuffs from your party. And I just ended Quistis' turn with a BT+. One thing to note here is that the actions taken are pretty precise. Do not take any additional action beyond those that I took, or the boss will hit 100% force time and your run will end. On Sherlotta, I started charging the force gauge with her, pretty standard stuff, but I did also use the Aerith LD call, and that is the second component. You need the Seal Evil debuff to prevent the bosses from applying buffs on themselves. From here on in, you want to charge the force gauge until you are 95% force gauge, and then end Sherlotta's turn with BT+. So this should be the final one. I'm at 94.9, so roughly about here. This is where you want to end Sherlotta's turn, because you will be able to charge the remaining 5% just by taking a few other actions after this. Finally, we come into Lightning's turn, and in case you're wondering how I got Lightning to start last, I did remove a lot of speed passives on her, and as always I'll list in the video description the passives that I removed, so you can check that out. But on Lightning's turn, she has one additional turn at the start. This is part of her kit. So what I did here is firstly use the Raijin LD call. This is the third and final call, and you do need it. Raijin LD call prevents the bosses from landing debuffs on your party. The combination of Aerith and Raijin call means that the boss can no longer grant any buffs or debuffs, and this locks out the rest of the mechanics for the stage, making this more or less a punching bag, because don't forget you do have Quistis aura in play that delays the boss to oblivion. Now this seems pretty crazy using BT plus here when the boss is at 96.8, but trust me when I say this move will only feel like 1 or 2% on the boss's force gauge, like so. This is 100% consistent. These precise actions will always give you 100% force gauge before the boss. Lightning had to use her FR there unfortunately, otherwise the boss will enter force time, and this also ends her turn. This is okay because this at least gives both Quistis and Sherlotta a turn to shine each, and this is where you want to use one round of echoes on both of them to fill out the force gauge bonus. Here I'm still at 10 turns remaining, and I decided to use one EX first. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. You could maybe even use 2 EX before going into BT mode, since there's 2 free turns here, but you want to enter BT mode with minimum 8 turns of force remaining, but I think preferably 9 to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room at the end. Here starts the army of 1, or should I say army of 100, because you'll be seeing a lot of this for the next minute or two. Lightning's PT mode is very easy. You just want to use army of 1 all the way. I'm not sure whether is it worth using her FR inside here. I think her EX actually does more damage, but correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I was thinking the EX does so much damage anyway, might as well just use it until the end. The only thing of course is you want to alternate targets so that both bosses are damaged roughly evenly throughout the fight. Best thing about this is you get to listen to Lightning's theme song, which I really like. What a great way to mow down the bosses. In case anyone is wondering, I did not actually go for Lightning in the Start Dash banner rerun. I already had Lightning's BT from way back when her BT debuted, and I did actually luckily manage to snag 1 FR in the free pool on the Start Dash banner, and I just kept it in the bag for so long. And finally on this event, where I really want to max out my yellow crystal points, I decided to just go and invest in Lightning and use the high power stones and BT ingots to max her out. Coming out of BT mode, you should have the turn order like this. Sometimes Lightning's turn jumps before Sherlotta, and if it does, what you want to do is use EX instead of FR here. This is why I say it's better to have a little bit of wiggle room before the BT mode. But here I just use FR because the turn order is already lined up pretty perfectly. But in case if yours is not and the turn order is Lightning, Quistis and Lightning again, then use EX plus instead. Go one more round of echoes with everyone and you will end up with Lightning's turn with multiple consecutive turns where you can army of 1. I know I said army of 1, but I realized her overhead is at 1 turn remaining. Don't think it matters too much, her overhead only gives her some stats and at this point the bosses is low enough, but I thought just might as well make sure that I guaranteed a win and refresh her overhead with her LD. And at least I still managed to finish off the fight with army of 1. And that's it. As always, I hope the video has been helpful, and if you enjoyed the video, do leave a like, comment and subscribe, it really helps a lot. Till then, I will see you guys in the next Crystal Mission Quest. Bye!